7, as it's the third time since June. It is the third time that this component is transferred. I show you as he has to us as he had been transferred for us. The connector exchange is a component which uses a Microsoft Exchange Server or Office 365 for performing the voicemail storage. Before OT12 version, the connector exchange was independent in the infra services, but since 2014, the connector exchange takes place in an OSGI container, WireHall. The connector is used by the mask as a voicemail storage interface. The connector exchange exposes the interface RSA mask service used by the mask. The connector performs the requests which come from a mask and uses the EWS frontend to reach to communicate with the Exchange server and to receive to perform a subscription to be able to receive the notification from the Exchange server to send it to the mask. The mask service provides some feature for the mask. First, it provides some method to manage the sessions. Mask creates sessions, get the sessions which are created, and delete sessions. The mask can got some counters about the message and for the voice, video, and other message as fax or other. The mask can retrieve the vocal stream or the video stream of the storage, and it can perform some some action about the message. It can delete a message, send a message, post a message, forward a message, or reply to a message. There are some documents which about the history of the connector and a troubleshooting guide. Embedded in the source of the connector, there you can find a list of documents we can help to the comprehension of the connector. Alors, what about the source of the connector exchange? The connector exchange in the Mercurial repository with the name OT Connector Exchange 2007. You have to be careful because the deflow branch is not the recent source. It contains the source of the connector before being integrated in the OSGI container. It's the OSGI branch which contains the source of the connector which takes place in the OSGI container. The source code is split in two parts under the directory CT2007. There is a API, which is the mask service which is exposed to the mask, and the server, which is the implementation of the component. To deliver the connector exchange, you have to deliver three modules: the API module, the server module, and the package which contain the API and the server, and which will be deployed in the URL container. For each module, you have to make the Maven deliver. What about the binary and the log location on the platform? The package, the CT2007 URL package point URL is put in the infraservice URL deploy. The deployment of the package install two bundles: the API connector 207 API and the connector 207 server. If you have a patch to do in the server part, it will be it will be preferable to just replace the bundle rather than put the entire package in the deploy area. The logs corresponding to to the connector are found in the logs URL and in the connector 2007 logs. About the log activation, the logs are activated with the log level and the debug level can be put on the COM Alcatel connector or the COM Alcatel connector notification and the COM Alcatel connector feature. Yeah. About the test, Frank Diebold, who made the previous transfer, said that the test at the connector level doesn't work, and to test the connector exchange, it can be done with the mask, with the integration test of the mask, which use the connector service. Recently, traffic tests were done on the Christophe Joussom platform, but unfortunately he leaves the enterprise at end of March, and today I think, and I don't know who take the skill for this traffic test. Consecutively to the traffic test, we have noticed a sporadic max of concurrency connections exception. I think the traffic tests are not realistic, but because this problem has not been seen on a customer platform. But if it occurs, it means that it could be necessary to queue the request. Okay. Some miscellaneous document which can be useful for comprehension and configuration. It's EWS throttling in Exchange, notification subscription mailbox event, and EWS in Exchange, tools and research for troubleshooting EWS application for Exchange. And for more more information about the previous transfer, you can see the README in the root of the source project. What about the CR which has been fixed since previous transfer? There were two issues about the voice message which was sent by a remote user. On the recipient side, in the in the mailbox of the recipient, the add-in which allows to send to make a call or to start an IM session was freezed because the identification of the sender was on his phone number, and at the level of mask and in the connector exchange, the phone number wasn't known as a remote user because it wasn't taken into account. The fix of the two issues has impacted two components, the mask and the connector exchange. In the mask has been added some new class. They are in the green color, and the issue consists to if the phone number wasn't known in the cache of the mask, we made a request to the CMS in order to associate the email address of the remote user to the phone number, and in the connector exchange to take into account this email address. Okay, the voicemail message. Well, right, it's a little bit short, but except the correction we have made in the connector, we didn't do except to put some traces to highlight some error code. Yeah. If you have some question, but I don't know if I can answer to. Is it clear for you?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. Now I propose to to show you the tools which the desktop EVB tools. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The the desktop EVB tools has been created in first at the beginning in the ICS product when the event server was independent and was when the event server was outside the Chameleon, not the Chameleon, but the API framework. The desktop EVB tools there is some evolution with the OpenTouch product, and it can perform two functionalities. Various event consumers of the different notifiers of the API framework, and some traffic generator for checking the API framework and its ecosystem. First, the desktop EVB tool, the artifact is a desktop test EVB. It exists only through snapshot form. The code of the tools is under the Chameleon Infra tools, which regroup some other tools. And in Nexus, you can find the zip, which contains all the dependencies of the desktop and the scripts which allow to launch it, and the files to configure the logs, and a README which contains the evolution, the different evolution who has been done in the tool. First, the event consumer. There is about six consumers. The first one is just a consumer which connect to a socket in the API framework, and this one allows to sniff all events which get through the event server. In this case, the XML consumer gets the four properties of each event which get through the event server, but it can select some specific event with a selector corresponding to the events you want to obtain. The RMI consumer, it's a consumer which subscribes to RMI event, RMI interface, and to get ILC events. An HTTP consumer subscribe to HTTP events with XML content. It can be secure or not secure. a sub-consumer which allows to subscribe to the SOAP's events. The REST consumer is subscribed to the REST events. And SIP consumer which subscribe to the SIP notifier events. Except the presence, because the presence at in the SIP server, the presence is got by another way, by the gateway with directly with the SIP gateway with the ACS server. This SIP consumer allows to see what are the events VHE can receive, for example. Alors, what about the desktop? There is a client button which allows to create the consumer. An action button which allows to make a global action on consumer, and help button which gives the indication about the different consumer and the event name it is allowed to subscribe. Okay. What is about after? No. Yes. I try to make an example about the desktop. Where is the desktop? Yes. Okay. I stop. Yeah. Yeah. Here, this is the desktop, and there is a client button which allows to create the different consumer. For example, if I want to create an XML consumer, here I can set the address of the OT, and I can start it. Here there is an area with you can put the event filter. Here I the filter is empty. It means that all the events we go through the event server will be obtained by the subscriber. Okay. Here you have you can find you can find the properties of each event. In this case, there are cyclically some events about the Martin. And here you can list the different events which we have been received. Here you have a append button which allows to keep all the event in the window. Okay. And here you have the 4 buttons to start, stop, refresh, or reset. Reset. Yes, reset. It's the same action which is found here with the global action button. In case of many subscribers, many consumers, it's easier to start or stop with the same with one action. Here you have the full event button. To be taken into account, we have to stop the consumer. You check the box and you start the event. In this case, you got all the content of the message. Okay. Alors, perhaps it could arrive that in a full event mode, you haven't the event. It could be a serialization problem, perhaps, but you can check with only the property of the event. And in this way, you can see if you have received all the events or not. You can save your your configuration. You can clean the desktop and you can retrieve it. Yes, it is easier if you have many information in the selector and many consumers. It's easier to retrieve the configuration in one click. Yeah. Example, if I take this one, okay, we have some the different subscriber which correspond to I've created before. remove this one, for example, and okay, I remove it to 2. Okay. Generator of 2. We see it later. Here we have 4 consumers. I can start all the consumers. Yes, and if I want to, for example, by the way of the console, for example, I have subscribed to instant messaging and presence, and I am able to change the presence. For example, busy, and you receive for for each consumer, you receive the event corresponding. Okay. On user updated for the HTTP consumer. On user presence updated for REST consumer. On user updated for the SOAP. On body updated because one of the two is the body of the other, and here you can see all the event which has been which has got through the event server. Okay. And I can stop. Okay. Now stop. I go back to the slide, but it doesn't work. Hmm. It doesn't work. Mhm. Oh. Sorry, but I can come back to the slide. What? Um, I try another solution.
Maybe we should rejoin to conference.
Yes, I
Try to rejoin. Maybe some problem with.
yes. Okay. I try to come back. Up. Already to connected. The connection is noticed. Ah. Hmm. Okay. I retry. Ah. No. Don't put the code. Hmm. Okay. Alors, about the traffic generator, which have been added to the desktop EVB test. Well, there is a basic configuration to perform the generator. We can perform the call with one PCC or three PCC mode. You have a standalone behavior with the guy and the generator on the same PC client. We can have the guy on a PC client and the generator on several remote PC. The generator can perform calls in a networking context. We can do an IM traffic to check the ICS component and the ACS. We can perform a one-shot action, and we can continue to observe the event with the different consumers. Guy and generator on a single client. And we make a SIP traffic generator. We can measure the time between an invite and rigging state on the caller side. We can measure the elapsed time between the invite and the call created on the caller side. Same thing on the callee side. We can perform two test campaign of test. We consist increment the frequency of the call up to a value, and at the end of the when this value is reached, the campaign stops, and we can store the different arrays in a file with a CSV format. When you perform the call, the call are displayed. The action is displayed in the console, and if there is a failure, it is displayed in the red color. We can perform test with a remote generator. When you the measures are the same, and there is only the guy part which is on the PC client, and on the remote generator there is the remote factory which waits for the action on the conductor. When you specify the user you want to involve in the call, when you start when you launch the test, the client selection randomly the users in the different generator. Okay. The generator works to in in a networking context, and for each users they can perform calls between remote users. About SIP, I can yes, I can see you an example. Show you for for example, I I start a generator on an OT mockup, yes, and I register all the user on the OT, and I start and you can perform quick traffic or slow traffic. Okay, for example, yes, you can stop the traffic, and you see that there is some value. It's the measures I say before, and you can make some call with a one-shot action. You can see here that the callers and the callees have the same range, and the callers and callees are chosen randomly but you can specify other all you want. You can just for example selection a list. You see, there is only three callees, and I can perform more than three calls at a time. Okay, it's the same thing for the callers. I can see you another case, but it is in Oxy context text. We have worked on the Roxy project. The Roxy project is in a Oxy context to have an API REST over the Oxy, and it uses a part of the chameleon, and the data are read from in the Oxy directly on the Oxy. For example, yes. I put the XML consumer to show you the events which are generated by the okay. Here there is only one oxy in a network.
Трафик-генератор? Он написал этот Christoph GSMI, что ли, как он?
Yes. I replay.
В инфратулах, я так полагаю. Ну, потому что EVB тоже там лежит. EVB
You can see there is the state of the user, the device has been modified because we have registered the user on the oxy, and the device has been put in service. And I make some call. Okay.
Check calls.
And you can see the different events which has been done. I can see the same thing but through the entire network. In this case, you have three range of colors with their respective address, oxy address, and the target host is the IP address of the API framework. And with the same I register all
Ну, он в этом, в самом EVB туле лежит.
Yes. We have three range of on 1,000 users. Okay. And I can call between the different node of the oxy. Okay. I return to the slides. There is another type of generator which consists to make some chat between users, but there is some restriction. The number of the user must be consecutive, and the contact, the body too. In this case, we have contact. We have 10 user. We have 10 bodies each, and in each range of 10, each user is a body of each other. Now you can see the domain here. of the user, the IP address of the OT, and the range of chatter. Okay. Alors, about the scenario, there is a sender and some recipient. There is the sender perform the IM session, and when first user log on the ECS, once the recipients are logged and available online, the sender begins and send his login name as a message at all other recipients, and each other recipient which receive the login send at its turn its login to other participants. Okay, and once it's done, once the sender has received the login of all recipients, it drops the participant and the chat. This is this slide indicates what is done in the scenario. Okay. To illustrate this, I think it's this one. I create the XML consumer to see the events which are performed what about make a mistake. Okay, and here there is the chatter and the number of participants in the chat. In this case, there is two participants. I log the different yes, what about There is a pollution parasite event. I specify the origin of the event to select it. Okay, I restart. No. Encore. I restart to enable the access user only. Yes. You can see all the all the event which has been sent to the event bus for chat with two participants and two participants which were not logged before the scenario, because the log is included, the login is included, login logout is included in the scenario. Yes. Now I can put three participants. Yeah. The chat was not finished. Okay. Okay. Okay, and so on. You can see with three participants that each participant has sent a message to the other participant. You can check that there is six messages which has been sent. Okay. Okay. What about the desktop activation? There is two scripts. The test EVB is a start client, the client guide, and the remote factory is if the option is set in the test EVB, the remote factory is the part of the generator which are put on the remote PC to perform the action. You have the README. In the README you can see the option of the script for the different cases, and there is here the part of log with the traces point XML for the level, the logs level. Okay. Well, I finished for the. I don't know if it can be useful, but for us, sometimes it perhaps to check the healthy of the API framework. Yes. Have you some question?
No question from you?
No questions though.
Okay. Oh, I stop here. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.